and looking forward to our second session of this evening. So we have Maria and Gabriella here to talk about BIM and how laser scanning and essentially how the kind of 3D modelling and the whole thing kind of fits together. So really looking forward to this. If we could give them a warm welcome, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello everyone. My name is Gabriella, and together with Maria we would like to present a topic about 3D capture and how we can bring point cloud to Revit and do some modeling stuff. Unfortunately, Mo is not with us today. He couldn't make it due to weather condition, so that's why our presentation will be a bit shorter, but we will show him at the end during a movie about one of our projects. So just a short introduction. We have met in Hop Studio a few years ago, and we started the 3D capture department with Mo. Now we are a bit in different places. I'm growing my own company together with my husband Tomasz, who is there as well. And Maria is working on her own projects, but we still work together and collaborate. So however, today we would like to present examples of workflow and case studies when we work in Hops. I will focus on the point cloud side of things, and Maria will focus on Revit because I was 3D data capture surveyor and Maria was
digital construction architect.
Yeah. So let's start. So let's start from point cloud definition. Point cloud is a large collection of points acquired by 3D laser scanners or other technologies to create 3D representation of existing structures. So basically, that's the example of, you can't see that, but the point cloud file is created from XYZ coordinates, intensity value, and RGB values if we collect them on site as well with just by taking pictures. And next to the picture is example of the point cloud. Point cloud has got a lot of applications. We use it for measure building surveys, topographical surveys, construction validation, BIM modeling, 2D CAD drawings, rate of light models, and 3D CAD models, and more. It's becoming a standard now to use point cloud for basic surveys outputs. Why we use 3D point cloud? Because 3D laser scanning delivers it's safe, fast, accurate, and efficient way to deliver the data. How we bring point cloud to Revit? So basically, we have to do laser scanning on site and register 3D point cloud in software. We use Cyclone, it's Leica software because we use Leica scanners, and then we create Revit models. So the basic workflow is, as I mentioned before, site 3D data survey, data registration, point cloud data export, conversion to recap and TRUVIEWS, and Revit modeling. So after 3D data survey on site, we have to register data basically. So we've got individual setups. So you can see on the first picture that we've got two staircases, which we have to move. We have to merge together. So there are two different setups from different locations. We have to rotate point clouds horizontally and then vertically as well. And then one scan to another. If we've got 1,000 scans, we have to merge 1,000 scans together and then create one big point cloud. After point cloud registration, we have to export register point cloud. Basically, because as I mentioned before, we use Cyclone Leica software to register point cloud, so we usually export it point cloud to PTS format, and then we converted point cloud PTS in recap in order to deliver RCS or RCP format to Revit. However, now there are different plugins to avoid this step. We can use CloudWorks, Jetstream, or different softwares which will bring direct database from Cyclone to Revit, and we can avoid exporting lots of data and having big files, and it also helps to view the point cloud in the software as well. It works better, but it's a way around it. So very useful thing from the point cloud during modeling is TRUVIEW, which is basically there are images from the point clouds which are very helpful for modelers because they can use those images as a 3D panoramic images that they can check what is what, if wall is a wall or wall is a wardrobe, or just check everything what is not clear from the top view or 3D view. So yeah, once we've got registered point cloud and RCP, RCS file, I usually pass data to Maria, and she was starting to modeling the point cloud in Revit. So I will pass the microphone to her now.
Okay, no. Just it? Okay. Hello everyone, I'm Maria. As Gabriella has already told you, I'm an architect, and I was working in OBS as a digital construction architect and BIM coordinator. So here I'm talking about HBIM, or Heritage Historic Building Information Modeling. That's why, that's because we were working especially with the existing buildings and the listed building as well. So let me give you a quick flavor about BIM. I know that many of you already know what is BIM, but it's also a collaborative process for the production of structural electronic information. And you know that BIM involves the use of parametric objects that could be assembled to provide a virtual representation of the building. And these parametric BIM objects could be architectural features or could be structural elements, and they can contain a lot of information inside, not geometric information, but also information about materials, for instance. So what we were doing in OBS, we were using existing building, and we were using BIM for existing building. Why using BIM for existing building? Because at the present, information about heritage buildings are usually represented as a collection of documents, drawings, CAD files, and provided by different professionals, and each one is working with different tools or different software. So sometimes we can't have reliable information about heritage buildings, especially if you are going to have a restoration project or design. You should have information correct and available for everyone. And BIM allows you to have the same languages. So if you are working for a restoration project, you are working with the same languages with all the professionals, sharing information, and that is very important in this kind of project. That's why building information modeling is becoming a useful approach in the documentation and in the enhancement of historical structure. And the BIM process can be applied to ensure the creation of reliable knowledge base about an heritage asset. So by incorporating high quality of digital survey databases, laser scanning, we can represent the appearance of the building, and at the same time we can use the model to analyze our interventions or our projects. So it's a good way to make sure that the project is working, and make sure that everybody can understand and can use the same language again. So we were using laser scanner data, as Gabriella has already shown you. And the advantages to use this kind of technology is that you can have a large volume of information that is covering all the visible surfaces of the object. So you can just upload this point cloud in Revit, and you can start to create this native 3D component of the object, and start to have a BIM model about your existing building. And the term scan to BIM is used to describe this kind of workflow that's starting from data capture and is ending with the 3D model. So you can use just referencing to the underlying point cloud the information and create a 3D model, very accurate and with all the architectonic details that you need. This is the workflow that Gabriella has already shown you. So the surveyor is going on site, capturing the data, and maybe also doing some photographic survey that is also useful. And once in the office, they are processing data, registering, merging, cleaning, and then the data is ready for the BIM modeling and for the creation of the geometric building information model. And that's for existing building, there is another step that I used to have. That is an object recognition. What is this? It means that when the difference between a new building and the historic one is about the details. When you are designing a new building, a new construction, you can have a wide library available online about elements, door, windows. A lot of elements are already available, NBS library, a lot of libraries already online. But when you are talking about existing building, and especially listed one, everyone has specific details about, I don't know, columns, capitals, and if the client is requiring an high accurate level of detail, we are talking about level 4, for instance, you have to represent exactly that kind of column, that kind of capital. So you need to create from scratch that kind of element to be more accurate and to deliver a very, very high level of detail in terms of respecting what the client is demanding. So going through the process, we have the point cloud data that you can see here, and we can also obtain from camera the photogrammetry. So these are information that we can grab with this kind of survey. And that's it, the model. This is the final model we can achieve from the previous image of the point cloud. And as you can see, there are some elements such as columns, niches, and other elements that are proper of this building. So we need to create them from scratch. That's an example. This is a Toscanic column that is quite common. And just the capital of this column have a lot of elements, as you can see. Abaco, ovolo, annulet. I'm an architect, and I know that I can have, for instance, in a model, an ovolo above an abaco, or invert this element. This could be very, simple thing, but it's very important once you are creating a model from scratch, or you are representing an existing building, and you are talking about heritage, because maybe the client will have this kind of detail in the columns, especially for level of detail 4 or 5. Thank you. So the interesting thing in this delivering an heritage building with Revit is to create a proper library. So you are delivering the model, but also the library with all these objects that are just of that building. So the columns belongs just to that buildings, and you can do this using the point cloud. It's very easy and very useful, because you can get a section, get a profile, and then you can create an ad hoc family for this kind of building. This is an example. This is a case study that I will show you later. It's a Bolton Town Hall and for JM articles, and we have created an ad hoc family for that element that is highlighted. We can find this element on websites. So we have just taken the profile from the point cloud, realizing a revolution in an ad hoc family. So the case study in terms of laser scanning, in terms of timing, is taking 10 days scanning on site with 500 stations, 5 days processing data, what I told you already, registering, merging, and cleaning the file, and converting data from PTS to RCS or RCP. And then the point cloud is ready to be uploaded on the Revit file, and we can start with the BIM model. Oops. No. Oops. This is a point cloud, and will be a movie, but it's to show how the point cloud looks like, and this is about the external details. If you can help me.
It was in the folder as well, so maybe you can open the folder. Yeah, just from the folder.
This one here.
Oh, the first one, I think. The one.
So here you can have an oversight about the point cloud of this kind of building. You can see the columns, the details, and with an accurate TRUVIEWS that Gabriella has already shown, or with pictures taken on site, you can have more information to realize that kind of columns. We can go back on our presentation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There is.
I just need to press.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. In terms instead of a Revit model, we have done an architectural Revit model in Autodesk 2015. The level of detail that the client was requiring was level 3 and 4. For certain areas, level 3, for certain area, level 4. We took about 25 days Revit modeling architecture with 2 modelers, and 5 days Revit modeling with MEP that was already also required by the client. This should be the final result, but maybe it's better. As you can see, the level of details for external was very accurate and very high, and the columns and all the elements, the architectural elements, were represented as they are. So in terms of data, I told you that we want to achieve the same languages when we are talking about restoration project and stuff like that. So we want to have just a model that can contain all the information we are looking for. If we are looking for drawings, 2D drawings or DWGs, we can achieve this, and we can get this from the model. That are information available at any time. And as you can see, we can get, for instance, an elevation of the front in 2D drawings. Oops. A section, very accurate, with all the details and the door details. And as you can see, doors already are families ad hoc that are, especially for this project. So another accurate section. And we can also have some views, renderings, like this, and just putting elements with the sky and the white stone, you can have a render like this. So all the process has started from the point cloud and ended with a 3D model, very accurate, as you can see, and this is very helpful if you are working with the heritage company or heritage project with the restoration. It's also good because with BIM model you can talk about management, and also, for the whole life cycle of the project. As for the BIM, for the new buildings, we can have the same for the heritage. And now we can show you a movie about the most prestigious job we have had in terms of heritage beam, that is the Manchester Town Hall. And there is more Isap that is talking about.
Our team at the Hub Studio in Manchester were invited by Atkins design engineering team to partner them in the tender for the survey and supervision of the restoration of Manchester Town Hall, a very prestigious project. The local authority, Manchester City Council, were embarking upon a redevelopment and restoration of a Grade 1 listed internationally renowned building, and we were, as part of a team, requested by Atkins to lead upon the 3D laser scanning and architectural modelling of the building, the as-built, as part of a asset management requirement that the client had specified. As part of our approach, and one of the things that building information modelling is looking to achieve for the sector is collaborative working. And I think our team, expert team from Manchester, worked quite very closely with the other professionals, including conservation architects, M&E engineers, consultants, all manners of different disciplines were combining to tender for this project. Another big challenge for this project was that the client wished for the project to be conducted whilst the building was still operational. So you had upwards of 1,000 people working in that building, and one of the things that we had to do was work outside of office hours, and therefore having a local team, a very expert team working in twilight hours, upwards of, we spent probably 400 hours in the building capturing the data, over 1,400 scans. We conducted a pilot to ensure that the client was happy in the program that we were adopting and the processes that we were looking to implement. And working with a very high caliber technical team meant that we had to be absolutely sure in terms of our approach and how we were looking to integrate into a very, very prestigious project. We provided the Revit model, the architectural and structural elements were developed from the point cloud survey. We would have a number of complexities and some amazing architecture that we needed to capture accurately and define within this 3D model. And we did that with a very innovative approach to ensure that we were able to deliver on the right requirements, but also in time. The time was critical. The client had already specified a number of phases that would follow, and therefore it was imperative for us to deliver accurately but on time as well. And having an expert architecturally trained team within the studio to be able to develop a very, very complex architectural structural model was critical to us being able to deliver on that basis. As part of our handover of the project, we spent probably upwards of 3 to 4 weeks traversing the whole building with our point cloud and our Revit model, and ensuring that each room and the information within that room structurally and architecturally had been appropriately captured, to ensure that we validated the as-built model to give surety and confidence to the technical consultants that were proceeding and were progressing, that the data that we provided was accurate.
Thank you for the attention.
Thank you, Maria, Gabriella. Is there any questions at all, Maria, Gabriella? They're not very quick. We haven't got many questions.
No, 2 questions.
Here we go.
Have you used or experienced data mining in hybrid point cloud models? Where you have the hybrid model and the Revit model together, instead of modelling everything in Revit
point cloud as reference, and if you want to puncture a hole in the wall, creating a void in the point cloud. Is that something you've come across before?
Yeah. Our workflow was basically to create everything from scratch, but I know about some companies, we seen some presentation about that you can just use the point cloud and build new elements instead of tracing the point cloud basically. But yeah, our experience is doing everything from scratch. Yeah.
Is that something you see taking off in the future?
I think it's a very good idea to do this way. Yeah, it depends on project specification. Because lots of our clients didn't have experience with point clouds before, so it's quite new to use the point cloud, and so I think it's still learning process for a lot of people to use the point cloud in Revit, and then it's not possible in Revit to cut the point cloud, so it must be different software to do this way, and then if you want to model new elements, basically. So it's still, I've seen some presentation, but I don't know, I'm not sure how to do it, basically. Yeah.
In terms of modelling strategy, we've seen recently from various different providers models that have come through. Some are kind of more useful than others. So as a prime example being kind of like Windows, where we're doing refurbishment and we want to identify demolition of these items. What they'll typically do, or some will typically do, is model the surround as integrated as part of the window, and then when we demolish that, we resolve the surround as well. Is that something that you've adopted on this project, or is that something you get requested to?
Yeah, it depends from the project specification. But yes, we have in the last project we have done in OBS, we were facing this kind of problem. Yes, of course, and we are trying to make these ad hoc families and this project as well as we can. So in terms of facing, in terms of elements, details, we are trying to improve with every project. So in the last project we have done, we were trying to achieve a very accurate level of detail in the families, and allowing you the architectural practices to be able to understand, to get ready with the model as soon as they get the model, and to start with the refurbishment project or restoration project. So, but it's always an improvement with every existing building is for us a challenge. For this reason, it's not like a new building, new designing that is straight, wall straight. Every time is a challenge. Maybe the walls are not straight, and for the level of details you have to be very accurate. Or maybe the columns are several columns. All the capitals are different. All the windows are different. So every time is a challenge. So we aim to improve our job every time with every challenging project. Any other question? Oh.
Well, they're getting excited now. It's more than one now. Over on the left, that's.
Do you do COVID after this?
Sorry.
Do you do COVID after this?
No, we are not. Yeah, for till now, yes. Maybe it could be a new experience. Yes.
The question over here.
Following on from the first question, do you foresee parametric information being provided in the point cloud rather than converting it to?
Yeah, it again depends on the client, because our clients ask for Revit models, so we do Revit models. So I think if we had clients who ask for just the point, we've got clients who use only point clouds, so and they can verify the model by themselves. But our clients ask for Revit models, so that's what we have done.
Anybody else? Go on, Kev. You got two. You got paid for the second.
Just a quick one. You talked earlier on about just while I asked my question about deviations in walls. It's especially kind of important when you're dealing with any kind of historic building where there's some kind of movement. What sort of process do you go through in terms of communicating that to the end users? So obviously, a certain amount of assumptions may be made in terms of designers. So how do you go about that?
Yeah, we used to have like a triangle with that we put on the wall if we are not able to represent it as it is. Maybe if we are not able to represent that kind of deviation, we are just communicating with the client that there is this symbol, this point of interest, and we have also scheduled with every point of interest is with a number, and we are explaining why we are not able to get that information. Maybe the point cloud is not clear, or maybe there are some, I don't know, cupboards or stuff on them, because we are working pretty much with laser scanning and the picture information. So when we can get into information, we need to be very clear with the client to say, sorry, but this wall is it's very hard to understand the deviation, or is hard to reproduce. So we are just explaining everything, so to be more accurate, and that's why historic building for me is very challenging with Revit, because is not is a solution for the future for me, because we can sort out a lot of problems with historic, with the listed building, and we can save our heritage buildings and stuff. I come from Italy, so Italy, is the land of archaeological sites and architectural sites, and I hope that one day we can use these kind of technologies to protect our history, and for England as well. Now I'm living here, so thank you.
Well, we'll call that Dave. Thank you very much, Gabriella, Maria.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.